Hola, bienvenido a la transmisión en vivo
Oh
de
my
Atlanta
gosh.
Sea Colony. Soy su anfitrión Adam Jewell y conmigo como siempre está Brendan Traxler.
Wow.
En
I mean,
anfitrión,
uh-huh.
bienvenido.
I think you should have stopped just right there.
Be at right at bienvenido.
Yeah, right.
Well, at least I said that
Hey,
part. All right.
hey, look.
Yeah, it's our Spanish
Lique. No,
speaking
no, no, no. Look.
audience.
Lique Manutz is back this week.
My man.
Hey, thanks for coming back, man.
Like they were
Honestly, I
just
didn't know if you guys.
waiting.
They were. I didn't know if they'd show back up or not, but
We're glad to
awesome.
have them. Man, I hope Joey
Absolutely.
Diaz and Frederick Durst are here tonight too.
I know, man. Have the whole group back in here again.
Anyways, the reason I opened it up in Spanish is
Yes.
because tomorrow is Cinco de
Oh,
Mayo.
I get where you're going.
Tomorrow
But
is Cinco de Mayo, which is Spanish for the 5th of mayonnaise.
mm-hmm. But I'm surprised she didn't come off like a lightsaber or something like that because it's the May the 4th today.
It is May 4th. Yeah, the thing is, I don't have a lot of, as much as I love Star Wars, I don't have a lot of like just toys and stuff, like something just to
They're not toys, Adam.
collector's
They're
items. Sorry,
collectibles. Yes.
I don't have a lot of that. Anyways, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I've heard it both ways.
Oh man, Frederick Durst passed this week.
Whoo.
Man, R.I.P. Frederick Durst.
Yeah. It's just
Shout
one of
out.
those days.
Yeah, just one of those days. Man,
Oh, there's Joey Diaz. Hey, there's Joey Diaz.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Frederick Durst.
All right. Now they went all that out of the way. Man, I had something I was going to say right off the bat, and then I got distracted playing a game on my phone, and forgot what I was going to say.
And you chewed me out for not being ready before the live stream started. And here you were playing games.
Well, because I was bored.
A train derailed and went through his house. Man, that is tough luck for Frederick Durst.
This way, you don't live close to the railroad tracks.
Just awful.
So there's lots of going on. Actually, this is May, so it's the last month for the 5x5. We are finishing that sucker up this month and having our drawing.
Yep.
There we go. Yep. So that's going on. So there's that. Also, I'm going to send a proof off to the chick that did the octopus thing tomorrow, I think, and see if she can't do something else for us to get another piece of merch out there. Also, hey, if there's anyway, if there's any like merch ideas, we've asked it before, but like sayings and stuff along those lines that you think might look cool on a shirt or something like that, or a mug or whatever. I know over in the Patreon, Babe and me have talked about some stuff as far as different merch pieces and stuff along those lines. But yeah, I'm all about the merch. And if nobody else buys it, I'm buying it because I think it looks cool and I like wearing it. So
yeah, like I said, I need to order another hat. I've been wearing the one like everywhere I go.
What about your shirt?
It's actually in the wash right now.
No, but I thought you're getting another one.
So I got the two shirts. Yeah, the one is the one bleach on it.
Yeah.
So I'm not wearing that one, and then the other one's in the wash right now.
Me
Plus
too.
that.
Me too. What? You need what? More merch? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not judging anybody, but
that's for the big man upstairs to do, not us.
I don't know. There's some things you kind of know, but yeah. Yeah, actually, we're working on. I'm opening up a merch store for my dad's business right now, using the same thing. So I had a little bit of practice with that. So, yeah, but I'm not having a stroke. I'm just forgetting what I'm about ready to say. So yeah, more merch, lots of merch, lots of merch. I need to order some more stuff for me. Now it's getting hot outside. I don't need a hoodie, but I still really want a ASC Pony hoodie.
You know, we really missed out on was back in March. We could have done Merch Madness.
Ooh,
Just because it has a good ring to it.
But next March comes around, we should have a plethora of designs and stuff like that.
I believe it's pronounced plethora, but
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, there's that. So yes, I'm aware that, babe, you will buy the merch. You've already proven that.
For our friend Frederick.
No, Joey. No, we can't do that. I didn't personally know the guy.
Well, I mean, anyway, we all kind of knew.
Yes.
For Frederick.
But yeah, and once again, after we have the drawing and stuff along those lines, we'll go. But yes, I hope to have at least one or two more pieces of merch before the end of this month. So whomever the winner may be, there's a little bit more selection there.
Joey brings up a good point, though. He asked if we could do a vigil for Frederick. Say we have an actual underwater colony. How would we handle funerals, man? Can't really cremate. I mean, technically you could, but it'd be really weird. And you couldn't really bury very easily either. Yeah, you got to be really careful about it.
Yeah. Once again, I think down the road. Again, I think with anything, you look at, how far are you talking about, like immediately or down the road? Because as you go down the road, you'll have those facilities and stuff like that. Whether it's donating your body to science or, you look at the movie Waterworld. What did they do with the dead? They put them in this big old goop and let the body decompose, and it went back into.
I haven't seen that movie since I was probably 6, and I wasn't supposed to be watching it, so I don't hardly remember that.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there's different stuff you can do with the body. I don't know.
To answer your other question, Joey, you got to be very careful because having flammable stuff in a pressurized environment, I mean, everything's a little bit different. But then again, the late and great Jacques Cousteau, one of the most famous pictures of him is one of the very original, what was it, Con Shelf? Mm-hmm. There's a picture of him smoking a cigar at the very bottom of the.
Yeah, they're smoking that sucker. But once again, it's all about your air is your prized thing. You want to try to keep it as clean and pure as possible. Otherwise, you're using a lot of energy and wasting a lot of oxygen there to keep that stuff.
I think it's the same reason, at a certain point, they quit letting you smoke on planes. Because it's like,
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Well, wasn't that all about
Yes, there we go, babe. We can eat the dead.
But what if they're family and stuff?
Doesn't matter. They're dead.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. I have asked you before, because your immediate family is your sister and brother-in-law and your nieces, and you've said in which order you would eat them, and if you had to.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Man, my kids are so scrawny and stuff. I just have to pass on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, the youngest niece, there's no meat on her at all. So.
Man. Could I eat my wife? Maybe. I mean, if I had to, it'd be difficult. And then it's just okay, so then you get put in the position of when it's someone that you're romantically involved in, be okay, I fell in love with this person. It's
so would you sacrifice yourself for them?
Huh?
Would you sacrifice yourself for them?
Depends on the situation. No, I would not go out of my way and kill one of my family members to eat them. I'm just saying, if one of them died, if it was one of those situations where well,
if they're already dead,
a plane crash in the mountains and stuff, and it's just and it's just but I don't know. Great, I wasn't planning on sleeping tonight anyways, because now I have to sit and figure out how I'm gonna handle the cannibalization of my family. We get to eat as many people as we want. That is true, and we will probably require sacrifices. I mean, if we're the leaders of the undersea colonies, then yeah, we probably will require a sacrifice.
I'm not signing off on that one.
Well, maybe at your place you won't, but over at my place I'll have my own rules.
You're not going to have very many people visiting you, is all I got to say.
But it's all inclusive.
Anyway,
there's just that fine print.
To answer the question, I have no idea how you would handle the dead. I never even ponder that. So I will allow that for smarter minds than mine to figure out and come up with when that time arises. But that's not anytime soon, so I'm not too worried about it. Because I mean, right now,
don't think about Elon Musk has to try to figure out what they're going to do with people, like the very first people that land on Mars. Why would we not have to start figuring out the very first people to live underwater?
Yeah, I guess you could feed them to the sharks. I mean, you could, but no, and yeah,
a shark.
No, that's what the ocean is.
It's free range.
Yeah, free range sharks.
I think if you could handle the situation, then yeah, I mean, you could do if you were really in tune with nature to be all right, when I pass away, just send me out to the sharks, and then it'd probably be pretty brutal to watch them tear me apart, but at the same time, it's I'm a part of the circle of life at this point.
You could probably charge for it too,
but you're not going to make any money off of it.
No. But my family members would hey, we can pay and people can come pay to watch some dude get eaten. Yeah, I think that's actually more that's what's going to happen is something along those lines because
Viking burials.
Right now, everything goes back to the land anyway. I guess if you're super rich, you could just leave them in their underwater habitat and let the sucker implode or something like that. Dude, isn't there? Yeah, Ashes Man and Coral Reef. Isn't there something? Can't you do that already? I thought I read somewhere there was some organization that does something like that.
Well, that kind of goes back to the beginning of our conversation. The funny story of the one podcast you and I like to listen to, I won't give him credit right now, but the guy told a story about how when his grandpa passed away, he wanted to be his ashes to be mixed with seeds, a tree sapling or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And because his grandpa passed away because he got hit by a town transit bus or whatever, so that killed him. And so he had his ashes mixed with a tree sapling, and they had it planted in a family yard or whatever. Well, the tree grew up and the branches were going over to a public property, so the city made him take it down. So the guy's just so technically the city killed my grandpa twice.
But yeah, I think that once again, and to that point, I think within standard ethical and moral boundaries, I think it'd be up to the person who's going to die or their family on what they want to have done with their body.
It's the thing about the ocean; there are no boundaries. Well,
I mean, if it depends where you're at. So
the middle. Okay, so let me transition to. Don't put that one up.
Someone's not going there. Yeah, that may be what I was thinking about because I knew there was something out there with the ashes and stuff along those lines. Yeah.
How many things can you have your ashes mixed with?
I mean, it's just dust for the most part, so pretty much anything.
Huh.
I mean, it could be easily put into concrete or something. or
taco
soil
seasoning.
or taco seasoning or coffee.
I say that because I just had tacos before I came down here.
Me too.
Actually, we should have ate them tomorrow. Um, there's also the Neptune Memorial Reef. What's the Neptune Memorial Reef?
And that honestly may be the one because it was something specific.
The coral reef is that, yeah. Well, I had a transition that I was going. Okay. So when I made the comment about there are no boundaries in the ocean, and you're like, well, there technically is. So we talked before about how there's like a certain miles out from land is still their property, and then there's so many miles after that, which is the economic,
the exclusive economic zone, the EEZ.
Right. So then I get to thinking about like some of these like all these like really tiny islands that are just in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's kind of like Tony Olson was talking about.
So like, did they all get like hundreds of miles of? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because as long as you're not breaching the surface, it's not really an island, so it doesn't really count.
Oh,
so what Tony was talking. Huh?
Sorry, keep going.
So like Tony Olson was talking about was finding those land ridges that under the water that still come up pretty high, and basing off of one of those for his floating seastead type of thing.
This seems like any land or anything that's breached the ocean, somebody's claimed.
Yeah. I mean, because it's usually incorporated by somebody, usually Britain or something like that.
Do they still have a lot of?
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. So, like, I think about a lot of times, like, when people are talking about that, like, we can zoom way up, right? And let's see, is this maybe not this area? Okay, so like, there's all these like tiny islands, like right here in between, like the United States and Europe, that I've never heard of, to be honest. But you can just zoom in and find it. So, like, then do all these places get like just hundreds of miles of?
Probably.
Like, do you even know what this is?
Is that the Azores? I wasn't paying attention. Is that the Azores? Where are we at?
Ponta Delgada, Via do Porto, Horta, Santa Cruz.
Well, you randomly look for random islands out in the middle of the ocean. I'm going to answer Joey's question here because it's a good question. It's obviously for the newcomers coming on here.
First of all, it's Joey. Don't.
That's what I said, Joey.
I thought you said Joe.
Anyway, Joey. So how did it came to me one cold winter's eve? No, it was probably about 94, 95. I was in high school. And I came up with the idea. Back then it was just, the giant underwater dome city type of thing. And then I took like a drafting class actually and built a rough design out of wood and stuff like that. It didn't get finished because we didn't run out of time. But then over the years, this is like, pre-internet days. So I read everything I could back in libraries and stuff like that in school. Then once the internet came around in the early around the turn of the century and stuff. Actually, 96, 97, I started building a website on GeoCities, if anybody's old enough to remember those websites.
Oh, yeah.
Angel Fire, GeoCities. Anyway, I had an LASC colony website on GeoCities, joined a bunch of Yahoo groups, and chatted with a bunch of people and just brainstormed. And the designs shrunk down, and they got more cost-effective. But still, even looking back now, they were massive, and it would have been a pain to make. And so it's just one of those things where it's the evolution of research, talking with people, and then finally realizing what has worked and just kind of jumping off of that. So Actually, I think one of our podcasts doesn't it dive into that whole thing. Did I lay that on one of the podcasts?
Yeah, probably one of the first episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a really rough, really the down and dirty of it. So yeah. And then Adam hopped on board a couple of years ago to help out, and yeah, we've had other people throughout the years that definitely. I've talked to pretty much most people in this thing, whether it's on the phone, through email, through social media. If you've been involved with an underwater habitat, I probably reached out to you at some point in time and try to talk to you just because I try to consume as much information about it as I can. And that's one of the reasons why I like having the podcast and this video platform and try to get guests on here, because information is power, and learning what we can and making sure that when we actually do this, we're as well educated as we can be on it.
Right here we have the French Polynesia,
mm-hmm.
which was one of the proposed sites for. Was it an underwater thing, or was that a seasteading thing that the French Polynesia was proposed site? Seasteading. Gotcha. Okay. I didn't realize that. I'm terrible with the globe. That's why I'm actually really fascinated with watching or looking at Google Earth sometimes, because I'm like, I really have a terrible sense of where actually everything's at. So I have fun. All right, does anybody want to see where Brendan's house is? Let's take a look. No, I'm kidding. I bet I could get us pretty close, but I'm up in this area right here.
Yes, you are.
That's where I'm at, and Brendan's down in this area.
Yep, it's pretty close. Yep.
Am I pretty close there? I guess I really didn't know which part of Mississippi you were in.
That's right. So, yeah, more or less.
More or less, yeah. So if you actually go from here to here, that's how I would get there.
Yeah. Anyway.
And Brendan did live here.
Yeah, down a little bit. Up right in the middle, right in the smack middle of the state.
Right there?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Anyways, now that I found some fun islands.
Are you happy with yourself?
I said I always have fun looking at Google Earth. God dang, I didn't realize Bermuda was where it's at. Like I said, I'm terrible with a globe.
Mm-hmm.
I hope my kids are a lot smarter than that. Bermuda's like direct east of like North Carolina. For some reason, I thought Bermuda was like down by Florida.
So, besides the 5x5, which we've kind of beat around the bush talking about here so far, one of the other things, as you can see on the, I think, did I? Yeah. What's your favorite habitat? That's what I was curious. Talking about, researching and stuff along those lines of all the habitats that have existed out there. Either it's design, function, or whatever. I'll say right now, Tektite 2. I love the design of the Tektite habitats. I think they're beautiful. I don't know what it is about them, but I just think they're really cool looking habitats. Those are some of my favorites that have existed at this point in time. Moving forward, there's some really cool proposed ones, but are they actually going to come to fruition? I doubt very heavily. Some of those are. So I'm going to say going forward, mine is my favorite. But yeah. Although the Conch Shelf was pretty cool too. Conch Shelf 2, because it had yeah. Ooh, I don't know what it is about that thing, but I just love it.
Pretty cool design.
I think so. Yeah.
Now
it just looks super spacious in comparison to all the other ones out there. I think that's part of the reason too.
Now, was Tektite one that was actually made or proposed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No,
but it's not around anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
They had 1 and 2. And then 3 was going to get made, but instead La Chalupa, a.k.a. Jules, came around. And the only reason I know a lot about that is, as Babe would attest, is Jan Koblik was talking about that on his podcast with Ted Clark. I was unaware that how closely those were all related. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's a photo. So when was that taken out of commission?
That was back in the 60s.
When it was taken out?
You probably don't really say. I don't know exactly. We talked about it in the pod. We talked about it in our podcast too. Yeah, I agree. One, I wasn't too impressed with. Three, Conshelf 3 was obviously designed for depth and pressure, whereas 2, I don't know. 2, I think, yeah, you could have gone some really cool stuff expanding upon 2 as far as just in the design elements and in what he was going for. I would have loved to see what would have come with 4 and 5 had those actually came out. But we shall never know. Yeah, that bad boy.
That one's Conshelf 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Part of it. There's
Starfish.
Speaking of Fred Durst.
Oh, I was like, what? Did he show up? Back from the dead? Conshelf 2.
I like Conshelf 2 because it's so spacious as well. I mean, that's the thing I like. Is they were bigger than, or at least appeared to be how they broke up. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's, you know.
Just a.
Mm-hmm. With the starfish, and then the little submarine house there, and then like the deeper habitat there over the cliff there.
And right up here, you see the Calypso.
Mm-hmm. And there's a little sub that docks down there too. So, Babe, what was your favorite? You thumbed up.
He just said Conshelf, didn't he?
He said he really liked it, but was that his favorite?
Okay.
He also gave a thumbs up to Tektite. So, I mean.
Oh, wait. I think this is the picture we were. Hold on.
Which I think was what we discussed when we had you on a couple weeks ago, too. I think we discussed that as well.
This is that picture we were talking about. Kind of a small picture, but for Mr. Joey Diaz.
Yes.
Everyone's down there smoking cigarettes and
what I like about what I do like design elements about Conshelf 2 is they didn't stick with the typical portholes or the bubble windows that you see in pretty much all the other ones. They're like squared windows that you normally would see. It was design elements. Conshelf may take it, but the overall look, there's just something, I don't know, about Tektite that really draws me. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah.
I was okay. I'm gonna. You can kind of see it.
Fabian better not screw it up with Proteus. Is all I got to say.
So I was actually looking into seeing if I could find this, so I could have it in the background of our during the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what made me think of it, but when I was a little kid, when I was really into Legos, I always wanted to get this set. But like Legos, like when I was a kid, plus now, are super expensive. So I'm sure this set at a certain point is a collector's item now. But I always thought these were like really, really cool. And it just happened to pop up on my Google search results when I was looking up some of these underwater habitats.
I think that one was $80 because I wanted to get it, and I was like, I'm not spending $80 on that sucker.
And you were already like 40 years old when it came out too. So
shut up.
Back when they were made out of like
I have quite a few underwater Legos sets already, but I didn't have that one.
Some of the sets they come out with now are pretty cool, but like some of them, like just the ones back in the day were just, I don't know, I still miss them. I wish I. It's like one of those things, like, you know, when you're a little kid and you don't have a job, and you're like, man, when I'm older and like I have a job and I can go buy the stuff I want, I'm gonna go get this stuff. And then when you're older, you're like, oh, that's really expensive. I don't know if I'm gonna buy that.
Every time I go to Walmart, I always walk down the Lego aisle just to see what's in there, and just says like, man, I should buy this.
I know. Even the small sets are like $15 tops.
Yeah, I still grab one every once in a while. But don't get me segued on Legos. I can talk about those things for hours.
That's our backup plan in case.
Yeah, we'll just start a Lego podcast, or we'll just make a video of me just sitting here playing with Legos for like an hour.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We should see if we can find that set.
You can.
And then we'll have.
You can order off of eBay and stuff like that.
And then we can do a live stream where we put together some Legos. Captain Nemo in the Underwater City.
What are you even showing this for?
Because it popped up when I was looking at when I typed in underwater habitats on my Google. Because like as you guys were listing off habitats, I was trying to pull up pictures, and then Google's like, "Yeah, how about this one?"
Yeah, I mean, like it's like you look at even some of the ones proposed right now. You look like beside undersea resorts and stuff along those lines. I mean, those are that. Or there's other ones out there. Yeah, there's Proteus.
It's kind of a cool design.
It is.
Seems very ambitious.
Yeah. And for the $120 million, wherever it's going to. Oh man, I had so many of those Fisher Price Adventure People sets too. Those are great.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
They still make them. I saw a giant Noah's Ark one the other day at Walmart. I was like, holy cow. I would have loved to have that thing as a kid. But yeah, I know I've thought about trying to build Atlantic Sea Colony out of Legos, just so we could have like a working prototype there. And I may still do it one of these days. I need to pull my Legos out and I'll mess with them. Yeah, babe. It was not too long ago. It was at Walmart. Next time you're at Walmart, I don't know. It was probably holiday season, so it may not be out there now. But yeah, it's huge. Sea Lab 2.
No, this is Sea-Ab.
Oh, whatever. AKA Aquarius.
Oh, this is the one that's still underwater.
Pretty sure it's it. I stuck my throat there.
Don't die on me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think it's different.
Yeah, it is. The one that was converted was La Chalupa to Jules.
That's Aquarius.
Yes, it is. Actually, I have a giant, almost like a display, a big metal picture of Aquarius over my bed.
Okay.
It's pretty sweet.
Most men have like a supermodel right next to like a Ferrari.
I've got underwater habitats. I had hanging over my desk. Back when I was in IT, I had my office. I had it hanging over my computer desk, and then I had a giant TV on the wall that the whole time Mission 31 was going on with Fabian Cousteau a few years ago. I had that thing all the time up on the TV. If I was in the office, it was live streaming on the TV, so I was always watching that. And then I put, as Babe talked one time, I'd have the live stream of Aquarius up there every once in a while too. So people
They have a
walk in
live
there.
stream.
They used to. They have
Oh.
webcams on it.
Na 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 la chalupa.
If I wasn't wearing my, actually, here, hold on a second. I can kick myself out.
Oh, hey guys. Welcome to the Adam Jewell live stream. My name is Adam Jewell. Today we're going to be talking about your favorite type of silverback gorilla and if you think you could take one on in a fight. Personally,
let me
Brendan's
get back
back.
on. Get me back on that side. Yeah. So here's my. Check that bad boy out right there.
Well, I can just see a reflection of me.
That's what I'm trying to see. Is that better?
Yeah, but I mean, you're holding it at an angle.
Well, because I don't want the reflection.
Well, here, turn your computer off so we don't see the reflection.
What? Anyway. Yeah. So it's cool. It's like a nice metal picture thing. Weren't cheap either. But I wanted my office to look sweet and it had to be in there. I wanted to get a bigger one, but it's just like I'm not paying that much for that really big. But if I ever got one with like once I build Atlanta Sea Colony and we got the first one, I'm getting a massive one of those suckers made. Oh, that looks so sweet.
Oh, yeah, they don't do it anymore.
Also, if anybody's watching, I've started trying to get more active in the So You Want to Build an Underwater Habitat group. So we got a couple new people in there too. So if you're watching this and you're in that and you didn't notice, I posted a statement in there this morning about talking about how to lower the underwater habitat to get people talking about that. And I really want to try to get that moving again. I have severely been lax on that, and that's all me. So is what it is, I guess. Yeah. That is true. That is true. That's honestly, that is one of the other things that one of the reasons I really want to get a habitat, even if it's not manned, just get something under there that's got like multiple webcam feeds on there that's going 24/7, because I think that'd be so cool.
But facing inwards.
What would the purpose of that be?
So you can watch everybody?
No. No one wants to do that. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but no. What are you looking for, Adam?
Still trying to find like some cool pictures to pull up of
pull up I will.
Just tell me. I got everything pulled up, man.
Poseidon. That one's a pretty sweet looking one.
Poseidon
Undersea result. As cool as it is, I mean, there's several design elements of that thing that concern me, but
this one's.
What?
I just saw a picture of the one I don't like.
I know which one you're talking about.
Hey. Oops. Control.
I had I had better foresight, I would have recorded a lot of that stuff too. But
this is Poseidon?
Yeah, it's Poseidon, yeah. That's the one where what's his name, from U.S. submarines and now Triton submarines and stuff like that. That's his one. I'm gonna try to get him on and figure out what's going on with it. I want to get him on the show. Bruce Jones, Bruce Jones.
I look at this picture here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dream right here, isn't it?
That would be pretty slick. One of these days.
What if like there was just like one fish that wouldn't quit looking at you like while you were trying to sleep? He's just like,
I would definitely have to have it designed where either the windows can auto tint or you have some kind of shade that can be dropped in front of it.
What's the point though? Isn't the whole point being able to just see everything?
Yeah, but you may not want to always be that, and you're concerned of, somebody, a scuba diver coming by or something along those lines. Privacy concerns. I think you'd have to have some kind of redundancy there for somebody that didn't want to, or you can set it on a timer so you can fall asleep that way. But at like 2 hours, it shuts, it auto dims or lowers the shade or whatever.
Maybe it needs to be like one of those one-way. Well, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah. Do sharks have lips?
No.
Have you ever seen a shark up close?
Yeah. I've touched a shark.
Like swam with one?
No. They were like in a tank.
Speaking of fishes and tanks, my family and I were going to be planning our next trip to the Omaha Zoo and Aquarium this summer sometime. If you guys live in the Midwest or somewhere, it's like the second largest. What? Yeah, we'll do a meetup, meet and greet. Second largest zoo in the United States. So,
and we're talking about hitting Atlanta for the aquarium there, the Georgia Aquarium.
Now that one is the biggest aquarium, right?
Not anymore. It used to be. I think it's the second largest now.
Which one's the biggest?
Like over in Indonesia or Philippines.
No, but I'm saying United States.
Oh, it's the biggest in the United States.
Yeah, because
and you can pay and you can go dive with like the whale shark and stuff like that that's there.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah. We're seriously, because since my niece and me are certified, we're seriously contemplating doing that.
See, that's I think my one goal of getting scuba certified would be is because I'd want to swim with whale sharks, sea turtles, and stingrays or manta rays, whatever. Either one.
Steve Irwin.
Okay, they said that's happened like 3 times in all of history. They said it was a freak accident that even happened. Quat! Sorry. Dogs.
So you don't have to worry about that underwater.
Dogs?
Yeah.
Unless you brought them with you.
I guess. Yeah.
Unless you brought them with you.
But even then, your habitat, you're not going to be able to hear the person barking in the habitat next to you.
Unless, like, they're conjoined rooms.
Well, that's on you then at that point in time.
That's your own problem.
Yeah, that's you. You brought this on yourself. I like the dead air here. No, absolutely. Yes, I've seen that before.
What? Bring your dog with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look at that. Looks like a good boy right there. Could you imagine how terrified that dog has to be right now?
I don't know.
He's like, why is my guy making me do this?
Yeah, babe. I agree. I've never done one before, but I think it'd be awesome because you get all the benefits of like open ocean, but it's all in a nice big old tank as far as the views and stuff like that go. What kind of dog does she have? Yeah, that's so sweet.
That's a huge aquarium.
Yes, it is.
And I thought the one in Omaha was pretty big. That's nothing compared to this.
Oh,
Whale sharks are just so cool.
mm-hmm. My
And
favorite shark.
You can go. Yeah, well, this picture right here shows it. Hold on. Your favorite shark is?
I can't remember what it's called. Let me see if I can find it real fast. I saw it in like a Skin Diver magazine back in like the mid 90s.
Skin Diver.
Yes, Skin Diver magazine.
Hey, Glenn, how's it going?
Ooh, I love me some huskies.
Hairy.
Yeah, a shark ray.
Shark ray?
Yeah. Look it up. A shark ray. I saw it in Skin. I was like, oh man, that is a unique and cool looking shark.
I have a feeling if I ever Shark ray. Oh, weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's a goofy looking thing.
Of course, it seems like most huskies got, if they're not have their blue eyes, they've all got one different colored eyes. Put the comment up there. I always wanted a husky. I had a Samoyed growing up.
That's a Samoyed right there.
That's not a Samoyed.
It's not even a real type of dog. You're just making up words. Samoyed. Oh, they look like chows in a way.
Yeah, kind of. Our neighbor had a chow.
One second.
Yeah, no, and that's honestly, that's what I'm going to send off is a hammerhead for the new merch in the same style as the octopus. Since we talked about that, I'm going to try to get that made and have that available. So hopefully we'll get that. That looks as cool as the octopus did. Because I need another workout t-shirt, and I need to spice it up a little bit. What are you up to tonight, Glenn? Oh, I know you'll buy it. Hopefully you won't have to, because maybe you'll win. We've got several people in the drawing.
I'm trying to find a picture.
Are you on our Twitter account? What are you?
No,
on?
I'm on my Facebook page right now, trying to find the picture.
Picture what? Oh my gosh!
Well, you guys are talking about your dogs. Why can't I show a picture of mine? That's mine.
What?
One of them. I have two dogs.
Is it dead? Please tell me it's dead.
Nah, it's just Oliver being Oliver, man.
No, but Glenn, we can. Is that? I guess you missed it, but we were talking about favorite underwater habitats. Is that your favorite? I would say mine's a toss-up. Tektite, I love the look of it, but Conch Shelf 2 is a close second. So those are my pass as far as ones. But there's so many cool ones out there. So Jules just opened. Well, I don't know about Aquarius, but Jules did. For you can go stay there, but you can't spend the night yet. It's just like day stays. You can go there and dive down to it, go in there and hang out. I haven't heard anything, and I messaged Thane last week. And he said they had some VIP stuff going on right now, and he'd try to get back with me, but I'm going to shoot him another messages next week. Yeah, Tektite, I don't know. Like I said, I can't put my finger on why I like Tektite so much. There's just something about it. It's cool. And if we can get Jan Koblik on here, I will definitely be asking about Tektite. I'm going to message him in the morning and see about if he's interested.
What's his involvement with Tektite?
He was like general manager or something like that of it. Something like that. He was involved.
How come I can't find pictures of the first Tektite?
Yeah, no, there aren't. I've seen like one, and I think it wasn't even a real picture. I think it was like a drawing or something like that.
But it was a real thing?
Yeah.
Just nobody ever took a picture of it?
Yeah, you know. They didn't have iPhones back then, Adam.
No, they had real cameras.
Yeah, I think that was what it was. What are you looking up now, Adam? And then, so Glenn, on that, all the proposed underwater habitats that you're aware of out there, what's your favorite of the ones out there? And I'm not going to be offended if you don't say Atlantic Sea Colony. It's fine. No, but I was saying, Poseidon Undersea Resorts. I've been watching that thing forever. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I still really like. I like how much viewable space there is. Obviously, it's going to be pretty shallow. It was very audacious and cool. But yeah.
There's also that Planet Ocean underwater hotel.
There is Planet Ocean underwater hotel. Again, it's one of those. I think it's an audacious design, very similar to that. So those big designs, it's hard for me to believe they're going to get built without some huge angel investor, or they're giving up a lot of their ownership for it. Yeah, there's Planet Ocean.
Phil Pauly. Who's Phil Pauly?
Yeah. And then, and then also over Europe's doing some really cool stuff too. As far as some underwater habitats over there, there's been several that are in different phases of either production or design. So I haven't messaged Phil, but I have Bruce Jones from Poseidon and Tony Webb from Planet Ocean Underwater Hotel, and all the other guys.
That's what popped up when I said Phil, when I typed in Phil Pauly.
Maybe he meant Pauly Shore.
Like Biodome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
You okay there?
It's been a long day, man. Every day is a long day.
Also, Jacques Rougerie has got some cool designs too. Yeah. Once again, I think it did. What? I'd be curious to see how big it is that it's needing that much a year to maintain too,
Yeah.
and what all they're trying to do with it. But the basic thing is you have to end up having to price it accordingly. If it honestly does take that much, then you got to price it so that it covers the cost.
Yeah, but that goes back to the thing of like who's gonna if hold on. If something costed you, what do you say, $2 million? Let's just go on the high end, $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You doing some math over there?
I'm gonna attempt to. We'll see what happens.
You have an old school calculator out there with a roll of paper and stuff on it.
No, I have my phone. So let's say you have $2 million a year. All right, hold on. Okay, 2 million divided by 365, which is 55. Let's just, or it's like $5,500. Okay, a day. Now, if this thing has multiple rooms and stuff,
Hey, babe, I'll shoot you stuff over afterwards, and I'll shoot it over to you in Patreon or on here on Facebook, just so you can get the links and stuff. Because I'm still got them pulled up.
what?
But I'll give you direct links to all the different websites of like Poseidon and Under Planet Ocean and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, go back to what you're saying. I'm sorry.
So if you had to pay $2 million in upkeep,
Mm-hmm.
that's $5,500 a day. Now, we don't know how many rooms that would be or what all this structure actually is. So, say if it was like 10 rooms, then you're down to like $550 a night, which isn't terrible.
Well, because Jules is close to 1,000.
Right. So,
and then the one over in Maldives or whatever it is, what's it called? Is like $250,000. So,
yeah, and that's ridiculous.
well, I'm just saying. So even at 5,000,
that includes transportation out to it, all fees, paint, insurance, air, and whatever else she needs to maintain.
So yeah, that's not bad then at all. If even at $10,000 a night, a lot of people would drop that for something like that.
See, and that's where you and I disagree, because like the person like me who would love to do something like that but can never afford it, you need to make these things to be affordable to everybody.
And what you said, it would be, but it's like anything else. At first, it's not going to be. It's economies of scale. Once you get it paid for and you get the technologies and stuff in place, then you can scale it. You can bring the costs down and so forth. And so there. At first, it probably wouldn't be available to everybody.
Oh God, I can't stop yawning. I've been trying to drink caffeine. It's just not helping right now.
I mean, I haven't had those Code Reds in years. It looks really good.
It is really good.
But yeah, once again, I agree. I think 10,000 is still on the high end. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I would never, short of inflation issues and stuff along those lines, I am not a fan of a $10,000 night a room. $10,000 a night room.
$10,000 to us right now would get us a pretty darn far in our adventure into.
It would help. Yeah, definitely.
Getting this thing built. So that's the way I see it. Is like, but my vision of that, obviously it's your project, but my vision's always been like trying to get it done as cost effective as possible. That way it is like,
I agree.
That way, like right out the gate, it's not something that we be like, okay, we got it built, but in order to maintain it, we have to chase after people. like super wealthy people to be the ones that occupy it, you know.
Right, but the difference I think here too is, like our prototype, it's only going to be available to people who can scuba dive, get down to it. So
Right.
it's already a niche market there. But if you're looking at something that's available to everybody, the technology advances and stuff like that have to be incorporated into it is going to increase the cost, but not the price. And that's why it's an economies of scale type of thing. Whereas to keep the cost down, you've got to, yeah. Great question. I'm not. I've been looking around at some. I mean, if it comes down to that, I know. But I've been looking at some different land and stuff along those lines. But I'm not until really. I don't want to do much until we have some solid talks with a location to put it, because I don't want to build something and just have it sitting for months at a time in the elements out there. Even though I'm not too concerned about rusting or anything like that, because it'll be protected from that. But yeah, I have some options. Worst case scenario where I can build it right now if need be. It's a little bit of a drive, so I don't want to do that. But yeah,
in all honesty, it wouldn't be helpful to you, but there'd be a lot more options up here for me to build it.
Because there's all this is land up there.
That and space is a lot cheaper to rent and all that around here.
Mm-hmm. You can just go put it out your dad's place.
He'd probably let me.
You got the room.
Then I could use like his. I could just get some long air hoses and be able to use like their air powered tools and all that to work on it.
Yes, Texas would work too. Texas has a lot of benefits, especially from tax purposes, stuff along those lines.
Texas is,
it's very appealing
economically. Yeah, very appealing.
Mm-hmm.
You see all that stuff like with all even like the big like the super rich entertainers and stuff that all live in like Los Angeles. They are like flocking to like Texas, especially you hear about Austin, Texas.
Where you at? Where you at in Texas, Glenn? Because I'm not opposed to moving.
Sounds like Glenn's gonna have a roommate. I smell a sitcom.
You can count on me.
And Atlanta Sea Colony. 2 guys, 1 dream.
No.
See what kind of wacky adventures they get up to.
Yeah, especially if I ever cash out my, whenever I cash out my stocks, being in Texas would definitely help out from that tax burden there too.
Man, people hate Californians.
Well,
let's not stray into politics, but yeah, he's not the first person I've ever heard say that. Victoria, Texas.
Oh. Glenn. I had a lot of friends in Texas.
And, I told you should have moved there.
I know. It was between Florida, Texas, and Mississippi, and just all my family was here. So,
yeah. And Texas isn't necessarily super close to where you're at either, depending on like where you wanted to be. Well, depending on where you wanted to be in Texas.
Yeah. And so yeah, he's about 9 hours from me right now.
Just you should move to Boca Chica. That way, like when you're not working on Atlanta Sea Colony, you can just watch the.
You got a camper out back. People already think I'm creepy because I drive a white van around. I don't need the whole living in a camper thing too to set people off. But
you guys want to come hang out in my camper?
Put it down, live in a van down by the river type of thing.
You know what, though? If it wasn't for the fact that it would make you look like 100% creeper rather than just 50% creeper where you're at right now, I could totally see you living that lifestyle. You are a minimalist.
I am.
It's just like you don't want a bunch of want a bunch of stuff. So it's just like,
No,
isn't Boca Chica like literally right on the border too? Chester.
yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, because I've been like Corpus and Houston and all that kind of stuff. So you're kind of in between there. I had friends who used to live in Corpus, and I visited them when they were there.
Victoria. Isn't that by Houston?
Yeah, it's like looks like it's pretty close between Houston and Corpus Christi. So.
And I think random thing is I think quarterback Andy Dalton is from Victoria, Texas. I'm pretty sure.
What kind of random fact is that?
Well, I'm a big Andy Dalton fan, so it's just like
I think you're probably the only person in here that cares about sports. Honestly, I'll tell you that much right now.
maybe. Or no. Sorry, he's from Katy, Texas. My bad. Completely different. Yeah, you're probably right. 92 tiles, 92 miles from Corpus, 120 from Houston, 120 from San Antonio. So, man, you're like 2 hours away from basically anything.
Yeah, I was over in Houston a couple of years ago, meeting with an engineering firm for about ASC. So it's a nice little drive.
Texas is its own country, really, when you think about it.
Pretty much.
What do you think? We've gone over an hour.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, do you like okay?
No, we're good. Yeah, I mean, I think we've exhausted the conversation. Unless we can keep on talking to Glenn, but Glenn and I can talk off here too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. The Texas Navy. Okay. Well, let's do this then. So
let's do this.
As usual, folks, go over to www.atlanticcolony.com for all of our social medias. That's the Facebook, Twitter. What?
Glenn was saying good night.
Oh, okay. That's our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. YouTube's, whatever. TikToks. We're still on TikTok, we just haven't been very active there.
Yeah. See you, babe. Thank you.
Also, Patreon, if you want to be able to donate $1 to $5 a month, or if you can donate $1 to $5 a month, go to patreon.com/AtlanticColony. And tying in with that, we're doing our 5x5 habitat drive, which will be ending this month. So if you donate $5 or more, for every $5 you donate, you get entered into a drawing to win a water bottle or t-shirt. So, and you can do that by going to our PayPal, which is www.paypal.me/AtlanticColony. So yeah, $5, $10, $15, whatever works. Also, Brendan was talking about, we have our merch store, atlanticcolony.com/merch. Got lots of cool designs there. I left my hat out in my car, but I'm very happy with my hat that I have. So yeah, and everything that gets bought off there, we get a little bit of proceeds from that, so every little bit helps. And also thanks to our patrons, Edward Haas, Brian Acosta, S. Babe Hyde. And like I said, 5x5 habitat drive. Donate the $5 if you can. Appreciate it. Other than that, folks, thank you for tuning in to yet another Atlanta Sea Colony live stream. Have a great Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, or Hermano.
No.
Mañana.
No.
Mañana.
Yes.
Hermano's brother, isn't it?
It's hermano.
Okay.
You don't pronounce the H.
Hermano. Mañana. Thank you, guys.